Interesting. Get our analysis. Meanwhile, he led the efforts to defund Obamacare and just spent the entire night on the Senate floor alongside Senator Ted Cruz for inspiration and to ask him some questions during his 21-hour speech opposing, I don't know if you heard about this, Obamacare. But will anything come out of the fake filibuster or the pseudo filibuster? And will they share the blame if the government shuts down?
That's right. Utah Senator Mike Lee joins us live from D.C. Good morning.
Good morning.
Long night. You obviously had some sort of heroism in you standing by Senator Cruz yesterday. What was your motivation there, Senator?
Well, I believe strongly in this effort, wanted to assist him in any way that I possibly could. Plus, I just felt bad for the guy. He has to stand there for 21 hours at a time, and especially during those long hours of the night between, say, midnight and 6 in the morning, that's when it's the toughest. Yeah. There was nobody else around at that point, and I wanted to make sure I was there to give him a break. He can jump in from time to time and ask him a question that lasts anywhere from 10 seconds to an hour.
Sure. Just at the end of that hour, put a question mark on it, and that's how it counts. You know, looking at our email and talking to people, a lot of people really admire what you guys did for all those many hours. You knew ahead of time that the numbers weren't on your side, and yet you did it anyway.
Yeah, that's right. You know, sometimes you have to continue to make your argument because you don't know which fights you can win until you fight them. And sometimes the only assurance you have is that if you don't fight, you will lose. It is very important that we make the argument, every argument we possibly can against Obamacare. I keep asking, how many more people will have to lose their jobs because of this law? Right. How many more people will have to be told that they're losing their health care or that they're having their hours cut or their wages cut? So many people across this country, like the 20,000 people who were told last Friday by Home Depot that they're going to lose their health coverage because of this law. So many people are upset, and they need to have these arguments made.
Sure.
That it's time to defund this law.
Yeah, well, I mean, 19% are willing to, according to a recent poll, defund Obamacare, even if it means a government shutdown.
But right? Most say no. Most 59% say no, not if it means a government shutdown.
Okay, but look, here's the thing, Brian. We all know that the government's going to be funded. It will be funded. The only question is whether we fund it with Obamacare or without. And what Senator Cruz and I were trying to do the other night is make the case to the American people that we should do exactly what the House of Representatives did. Under the leadership of Speaker John Boehner, the House passed a continuing resolution that would keep everything in government funded except Obamacare. That's what we need to do. We need to protect the people from this harmful law.
Right. Have you coordinated? Do you know what the House is going to do? Obviously, Harry Reid's going to strip out the defunding part and then kick it back to the House, and then the meter's running up against the October 1st deadline.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody knows for sure what the House will do next. What I'm encouraging my House colleagues to do, and what I'm hearing that many of them are encouraging their leadership to do, is to stand by what they've done and to figure out different ways of defunding Obamacare. We want to keep the government funded while stopping this harmful law.
You know, John McCain is among your critics. He felt he was called out in one of the many hours of words that Senator Cruz put out there. He said he was upset that he was accused of not working hard to get it repealed. He said, "We fought hard as we could in a fair and honest manner, and we lost. But it doesn't mean that we're going to give up our efforts to repair and replace, but it does mean that elections have consequences," essentially saying, you don't have the votes. This wasn't the time to get up there and speak.
Yeah, I respectfully disagree with him. I mean, look, this is a law that has never enjoyed the support of a majority of Americans, and it has become less popular over time rather than more. Even since last fall's presidential election, it's become less popular as people have realized what this law is actually going to do, and as people have realized the president's not going to follow the law as written, in part because, as he explains it, the law's not ready to be implemented, and if he's not going to follow it, we shouldn't fund it.
Yeah. Senator Mike Lee from Utah. Hey, before the other night, when was the last time you pulled an all-nighter?
You know, it's been a while, probably since the campaign, but it happens from time to time. You know, you don't expect to do a whole lot of those.
Right.
Actually, no, I had one a few months ago. We had an all-night vote session in March. That was a lot of fun.
Well, we certainly...
You know, you get a group of 100 senators in a room and you make them stay up all night long, and they're really pleasant. Everybody's really happy.
Sleepover or not. We appreciate you standing up and standing for Americans last night, and right now we're going to go to someone else